the office and read them, and you can vote at the next.
You wanna do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
As much fun as it is for everyone at home to watch you guys read
No, I
minutes.
was gonna say we could do committee reports while we read them, but, all right, committee reports, Green Community Task Force, no report. Capital Planning,
Capital Planning, we are planning on meeting on the 2nd, I believe, for the first time for the season.
all right,
The Agricultural Commission did not have a quorum, there was no meeting, and the last Stormwater Task Force meeting I was unable to attend. I think that was the first one I've missed in like 3 years. So no reports, sorry.
MJTC, that's Ken, I think.
Yep.
Open Space,
Open Space meets Wednesday night at 7:30 at the, I believe we're in the Ritter, this Wednesday. We are making headway on redoing the open space plan. We have all new updated maps, except for I think there are two outstanding that Brandon's working on. We have tabulated the results from the survey. We're going to review those on Wednesday night and just try and put together an action plan based on those for the final document, which we expect to have ready for. I guess we're not going to make it for special town meeting now, so it'll have to be for spring approval.
all right,
But we'll see. We might, no, when does the warrant close?
The 19th week?
Oh, yeah, I don't think we're going to make that, so.
The 9th. Open the 19th, close the 9th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
MRPC, that was,
That's not mine anymore.
Gave it up. We met 3 weeks ago, no substantial changes. The only thing I did want to mention in regards to MRPC was they worked with Townsend to secure a grant for the funding of Townsend's updated master plan. And I know we haven't updated our plan in
Wow.
many years. And so, you know, with the board's support, I'd like to explore, you know, what that looks like and see if we could apply for a similar grant and look into updating our master plan, which I believe was last updated in '08.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, I think so.
07, 08.
Yeah,
So,
it's been a while.
and there are certain aspects of the plan that would be best outsourced. And so, of course, there's the cost with that. And so if we had grant money available, then we could do it without burdening the town budget for some of the.
So you're looking for permission to apply for the grant?
No, just reach out to MRPC and
just-
see.
I have to reach out to Karen anyway, so I can,
Okay.
I can ask her that.
Yep.
Do you want a motion on that?
Through Mr. Chair.
sure, if you want to give our support, well,
Do you want to make the motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we reach out to MRPC and search for grant money for updating the master plan.
Second.
any discussion?
I think we get the last thing that, I think it was John Hume a couple of years ago helped us do the housing production plan, which was one aspect of the master plan. And that was done in what, 14, 15?
Yeah.
Fairly recent. So it's not like the whole thing is from '07 or '08.
Yeah.
Like, that's been updated recently, but that's all the discussion I have.
Well, but I think that we could use that information and the grant money or whatever to put
Right.
it into one package.
Pull it
so
all
it's
together.
One master plan, so we don't have this piece of the master plan and that piece of the master plan.
Yeah.
At least when they were amended and updated too, so we know. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Charter review, Michael gave us an update, but the September 26th meeting was canceled, so that was Wednesday night's meeting due to a conflict with the Board of Selectmen and Water District meeting.
Oh, can I just wanted to cover one other thing from
Sure.
Open Space. We got this new app that one of our new members introduced to us that allows us to go out and, or it allows anybody in the public basically to become a steward of the property around their house, you know, any open space or parcel or athletic fields or anything that, any town asset. You can go out there and take a survey and you can plug into it with, you know, what condition you're finding things in. You can take pictures, upload it into the database, and then that can be used by whoever's in charge of it or whoever's using it, to update or go out and make changes. So if it's the Conscom or Parks and Recs, they can, get an update on what's going on with the basketball hoops. That was a big one this summer. And they know that they're damaged. They can head right out there and fix them. So it's a pretty cool little app that allows anybody in the public to do the same thing. So
Cool. Yeah. Who makes that? Who put that?
ugh, I knew you were going to ask me that. I can't remember the name. Something survey.
Because I know that it's.
You can build like the future for this thing is in the hopes that we can include GIS and everything in it, and include some kind of greater mapping software so you can really pinpoint stuff and trail maps and everything.
I was going to
But
say
we're not there yet.
That sounds very similar to the mapping that the MRPC, I
Yeah.
believe, has done for the stormwater.
Yep.
Okay.
Very similar, I think. Yeah, but we're not going to expand it because you're going to get to pay for cloud storage and everything, and then it becomes a cost. So we're trying to keep all that down to a minimum.
All right, 994 Northfield Road is continued to October 22nd. Director's items.
So, we have a few warrant articles that I've submitted, which we've already more or less talked about. The sign bylaw amendment, I don't think the board ever formally voted on the language, but the language that we've seen several times is what I sent to the town manager. We still have some time to change it before the warrant is printed and all that, but y'all might want to look over it, and if we need to change it, we should do that soon. The amendments to Article 2 and Article 4.1 are both cleanups. The amendment to Article 2 is the deletion of duplicative definitions. So these are terms that we defined when we did the use table that we didn't take out of Section 2. So it's just going back and cleaning that out. The amendment to Section 4.1, there were 2 special permits that lacked the board modifier for who was the special permit granting authority. So those have been added in. And there was a striking of Note 3 on the use table, which essentially said that the definitions in Section 4 overrode the definitions that were duplicated in Section 2, which is no longer needed because we're deleting the definitions in Section 2.
Right.
Section 8.3 is in there again, unchanged from previous, and I'll work up a more cogent argument on why we shouldn't have it and why everybody else does what the state says, and we have this weird 90-day time limit.
To go on to that, I would also like to suggest that we get a little bit more FaceTime with the BOS on that, because
Sure.
that seemed to be the downfall of it last time.
Mm-hmm. So that's, and then the update on the moratorium is the 5th one, which just changes the date, and when it was approved and printed, the last half of sentence of the last section was dropped, so I just added it back in, just because I'm kind of a completist.
On the back.
Right. Assume the sign bylaw is covered by the
Correct.
warrant article. Solar energy systems, we'll yet to discuss.
We don't really have anything to discuss. And, I guess I'll just grab the ongoing items into the director's items. I owe you a copy of the earth removal permitting. I haven't got that out to you. If you've driven by Asian Imperial recently, you've noticed there's a no parking sign on the former driveway apron.
I didn't notice the sign, but I noticed that people
Yeah.
have not been parking.
Well, there's a nice no parking sign there.
I couldn't see it because the vehicles were in the way.
So, I did send a letter to the owner and informed her that you know, this is the situation, not part of your parking, it's town right of way. You know, sort of outlining why the board was concerned with people parking there and the safety impacts. I CC'd the DPW director. He put up the no parking sign to start things and see, let's try the gentle hand and see the least intrusive approach. And I think if it remains a problem, he'll take further action. Village at Flat Hill, I did happen to go by there in after one of the torrential rains we had last week. It does appear that they've done some of the maintenance. It doesn't appear they've done all the maintenance. They still have another week, so we'll report back after that.
Supposed to get some more rain tomorrow, a significant amount.
Oh, are we?
Couple of inches, yeah.
Yay.
Well, in case you want to go out and check it again.
Well, it doesn't seem to be contributing to the problem that's at hand, because in the rain, there, you know, the basin was functioning the way one would expect the basin to. My general question: they cut back all the woody growth along the top and edges of the basin, which, you know, really just secures the basin. The bottom of the basin is still growing thick with cat and nine tails, and just seems like there's a fair amount of sediment in there. So I don't know if the bottom of the basin is the actual elevation that the plans say the bottom of the basin should be at, and that's what we were hoping that they would verify. So perhaps they're still in the process of doing so. That's what I've got.
All right.
Are we going to take a vote on the sign bylaw or any of the warrant stuff?
That's up to you. Well, 8.3, I thought that you folks had already taken the vote on, and there will be a public hearing in which you'll vote.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you could take votes to support the submission of the two definition articles. It's something we had talked about over the summer, but I'm happy for any support.
We can take a vote to support the articles moving forward, if you want.
And I think that the sign discussion was had with Matthew and, actually, I think Greg may have been the only one who wasn't here. Because if I recall correctly, Ken was supportive of it, and they wanted to wait for the chair to be back to, you know, to say that that was the language that they wanted to move forward with.
Actually, I don't think I was here for that either.
No, maybe you weren't.
You
I thought you were the one who said you wanted the whole board here.
I am?
Do we want to take a vote on
Sure, yeah.
support of the articles, save the sign bylaw? Or?
Well, I think, as I said, Ken was in support, as I recall.
As I recall as well.
Do you,
If you'd like to make a motion, accept one.
Matt, you want to take this one?
I move that we vote that we support the sign bylaw revision.
Second.
Any discussion?
We're still gonna have a public hearing on it, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So this is kind of moot, but.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
No, but it was, it's the board's article, and it's language that was proposed to the board back in February that the board sort of reviewed and never, I think, came to a final consensus in order to get it on to the spring warrant. So it was brought back around again.
Yeah, I was there for the initial. I missed two other actually meetings on that.
So
I think
I
I
have
actually
faith in
have
you.
you in writing
I have
saying
faith
you
in you.
love it.
I'm gonna.
So we support our article.
Yes.
Basically.
I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I can still withdraw it if the board isn't going to wish to be the sponsoring.
All in favor?
I think this is how we find out. Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. Our Meeting schedule, October 8th is Columbus Day, October 22nd is an A&R plan for Gilchrist Street, the continuation of Northfield Road, the marijuana cultivation discussion, and hearing for board warrant articles, so that's gonna be a long meeting.
Can I
Please.
make a suggestion that we put the cultivation discussion at the head of the agenda, like we had
That's fine.
this meeting?
Because
Right.
at this point, you're going to be just having deliberations, so.
I was quite perturbed that they had to wait the 2.
Yeah, I
Yeah, that was a
kinda
weird
dropped the
one.
ball on that one, so. November 5th, marijuana processing and testing labs, and November 26th, marijuana craft cultivator discussion. When is the stormwater for Settlers Solar?
That's wrapped into the.
Oh, it's into the whole
Yeah.
thing? Okay. Is there any public comment from the board? Seeing
Oh,
none?
yes, I'm sorry. I thought you said from the public. So craft cultivation and regular cultivation are going to be the same on
No.
that, or is that being pushed? Cultivation's in
Cultivation
December?
is the next meeting.
It's gonna be in
October
some-
22nd.
Middle line.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yep. That's the one we're moving up. Okay.
Marijuana craft cultivator is a different
3, 4, 1, 2.
type of use where you're cultivating and processing, but you're required to be. I have to relook at it. It has something to do with all of the officers of the board being Massachusetts residents. So you can't get like Philip Morris couldn't get a craft cultivator
Gotcha.
license,
And then
but
also,
you and
They get,
Matthew
like-
could.
and then also you have to wholesale it. You can't,
You can't retail it, yeah. None of the cultivators can retail. But you can do cultivation and processing under that single license. You don't need a processing license.
Okay. Yeah, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Is that it? Any more public comment from the public, please?
Hi, just following up my earlier comment on reasonable regulation. Now, I just want to mention on the sense of reasonable education on substance use, it might be appropriate to mention as well, the Lunenburg Roar Task Force is having a public forum November 1st, Lunenburg High School. It'll be given by Dr. Jill Pote. She's an MD. The title is called Substance Use and the Teenage Brain. So she will be speaking on what is addiction, how to treat it, and most importantly, perhaps for the conversation earlier, how to prevent substance use.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yep, please.
This isn't really a comment, it's just the open space app. That was,
Yeah.
I went to a meeting where that was talked about, and it was really great, and you can track, like, I think they were working on ADA compliance of open space
Yeah,
and whatnot
that's
too.
right, yep.
It's called Survey 123 Field App.
Thank you. Survey
you.
1, 2, 3 field app. Asked and answered. All right.
We've already touched on the ongoing items, so any board comments or concerns? Seeing none, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.